Okay, imagine this for a second. You're somewhere on Florida's Treasure Coast. Maybe you're at a coffee shop in Stewart or, I don't know, a gas station in Fort Pierce, and you check a ticket you bought on a whim.
Yeah.
And then you see it, the numbers match. And just for a second, the world goes silent. You've just won the Powerball.
That moment, that rush of pure adrenaline is honestly one of the most dangerous moments in a winner's life.
Dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. Because suddenly you have what feels like a blank check. You're thinking about that home on Hutchinson Island, the boat, quitting your job tomorrow. I mean, that's the promise, right?
Of course. And that promise it's intoxicating.
Yeah.
But the reality, as we know, is a lot more complicated. The Treasure Coast has seen its share of big winners, and those stories always seem to go one of two ways.
They do. It's either multi-generational stability, or it's a story about how it all vanished, sometimes completely.
And that's what we're going to dive into today, that fork in the road.
Exactly. We're tackling the core problem that trips up most winners, something financial psychologists call sudden wealth syndrome.
Sudden wealth syndrome. It sounds dramatic, but I've seen the statistics. It's something like 70% of lottery winners end up broke, or at least under serious financial stress within just a few years.
And that's the key. It's not because they didn't have enough money. It's because the wealth arrived so fast, it completely outpaced their ability to handle it. They lacked the framework.
The professional framework to treat it like a business, not a spending spree.
Right. An asset to be managed, not an endless supply of cash.
So let's build that framework. Our mission for this deep dive is to walk you through that crucial timeline, what you need to do before you even think about going to a lottery claims office.
Think of it as building mission control. You've got this incredibly valuable, fragile asset in your hand, and we need a plan to secure it. Legally, financially, before anyone else in the world finds out.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. The critical first 24 hours. You're still shaking, the numbers are spinning in your head, but there are, 3 non-negotiable things you have to do right now?
3 things, absolutely. And the very first one, the moment you realize you've won, is to secure that physical piece of paper. The ticket is a bearer instrument.
Which means?
What exactly?
It means ownership belongs to whoever is holding it. If you lose that ticket before you sign it, anyone can pick it up and claim the prize. It's literally a finders keepers situation.
Wow. Okay, so first step.
You must immediately sign the back of the ticket. That signature is what establishes your legal claim.
And then where do you put this signed multi-million-dollar piece of paper? I mean, especially here on the coast, you can't just stick it in your wallet.
Oh, absolutely not. The humidity, the risk of a storm, you have to think about that. Get it into a fireproof, waterproof safe, or even better, a bank safe deposit box as soon as you can.
Okay, so the ticket is secure. Step 2 is, I think, probably the hardest one.
It is. It's silence.
Complete silence.
You have to fight every single urge to share the news. No celebratory posts on social media. No calls to your cousins. You don't tell your best friend at the gym.
Why is that so critical? The Florida lottery itself will tell you this. Premature publicity is the #1 cause of problems. It invites scams, unwanted requests, and just a total loss of privacy before you're ready. Your circle has to be tiny, immediate household only. And even then, be careful.
And while you're being quiet, you document everything.
Yes. Take clear photos of the front and the back of the ticket after you've signed it. And here's a little tip. Securely email those photos to yourself.
Ah, so it creates a time-stamped digital record.
A backup trail, exactly.
And the final action in those first 24 hours. This one feels counterintuitive. You don't call the lottery.
No, you call your team. Before you even think about contacting the Florida Lottery, you need to get your professional defense in place.
And that team is who?
A tax attorney who specializes in this stuff, an estate planning attorney, and a financial advisor who has specific experience with sudden wealth. This is a legal and tax event first, and a financial opportunity second.
Okay, so the team is in place, tickets in a vault, we've got leverage. But there's a clock ticking on some really big, irreversible decisions. Let's talk about the Florida claims process.
Right. So the main timeline is pretty generous. You have 180 days from the drawing to officially claim the prize.
6 months. That's a good amount of time for the team to get a strategy together.
It is. But there's a much tighter deadline inside that window, the most critical one.
And that is?
How you're going to take the money. You only have 60 days from the drawing date to decide, lump sum or the annuity.
60 days. Wow, that is a huge decision to make in 2 months. What's the usual route here in Florida?
For most big winners here, the lump sum is the preferred option. Remember, the huge number they advertise, say $100 million, That's the annuity value paid out over 30 years.
The lump sum is a lot less.
It's usually about 60% of that, but you get it all at once. And since Florida has no state income tax on winnings, taking that cash up front gives your team massive flexibility to start investing and earning returns immediately.
Now, privacy. That's the other big thing. Florida has a pretty unique advantage here.
Yeah, it's a huge one. Winners who claim prizes over $250,000 get 90 days of anonymity by law. The state won't release your name for 3 months.
So how do you use that 90-day grace period to create, long-term privacy?
That's where your attorney earns their money. The best strategy is to form a blind trust. The trust, which is a legal entity, is what actually claims the prize.
Ah, so the winner on public record is the name of the trust, not your personal name.
Precisely. It shields your identity long after those 90 days are up. It's a critical layer of protection.
So once that's all set up, where do you physically go? For a Treasure Coast winner, for example.
For major jackpots, you're doing this in person. Your attorney will come with you. The closest regional office would be the one in West Palm Beach. It's a very controlled, secure process.
So we've done everything right, the plan is perfect, and yet this is where the 70% of people go off the rails. So let's talk about the mistakes, the landmines. Starting with the spending spiral.
The spiral starts because people fundamentally misunderstand how much money they actually have. They see the headline, $100 million. But if you take the lump sum, you already cut that by 40%. Then, Uncle Sam shows up.
Right. So that $100 million win after the lump sum and after federal taxes might only be, 35 or 40 million in your bank account, which is still an incredible amount of money, but it's not infinite.
It is absolutely finite, and that's where the bad decisions start. Let's take your dream purchase, that $5 million waterfront home in Jupiter. Seems reasonable with $40 million in the bank.
It seems totally affordable. What's the trap?
The trap isn't the purchase price, it's the cost to keep it. You're talking about property taxes, insurance, which is sky high on the coast maintenance staff. That can easily be $200,000 or $300,000 a year. Every year.
So you're not just buying a house, you're buying a massive annual bill that eats into your capital.
Exactly. Which leads to the second mistake, the one that blindsides people. Taxes.
The federal government.
Yes. Lottery winnings are taxed as ordinary income. That means they're subject to the highest marginal federal income tax rate. Right now, that's 37%.
So almost 40 cents of every dollar of that lump sum goes straight to the IRS.
People just don't believe it at first. The sticker shock is real. If your cash lump sum is, say, $70 million, you owe the IRS nearly $26 million.
So what's the safe rule of thumb here?
The rule is simple. The moment the money hits your account, you immediately set aside a full 40% of the gross winnings. Not the net, the gross. Just lock it away. Don't touch it. That's your tax money.
And the final pitfall seems to be bad advice.
Oh, yeah. Poor investment decisions. Suddenly, everyone you know is a financial genius. Your cousin has a can't-miss business idea. Someone tries to sell you a complex, high-fee insurance product.
So what's the successful approach?
Conservative and diversified. Your first goal isn't to get richer. Your first goal is capital preservation. Don't lose what you just won. Chasing crazy returns is how you end up back where you started.
Okay, so this all points back to building that professional framework we talked about at the start. It really all hinges on the quality of that advisory team.
100%. The people you hire are your insurance policy against becoming one of the 70%.
So when you're looking for an advisor, what are the credentials you need to see?
Look for advanced certifications like a CFP certified financial planner or a CFA, a chartered financial analyst. But more important than that, you need to ask them one question.
Which is?
What is your specific experience managing sudden wealth? You need someone who understands the psychology of this, not just someone who manages retirement accounts for doctors.
So you get the team in place.
Yeah.
Then the mindset has to shift for the winner, right? From thinking about this giant pile of money to something else.
You have to stop thinking about the total wealth and start thinking about sustainable income. Successful winners treat their winnings like a giant pension fund that they can never, ever touch the principal of.
How does that work in practice?
Well, let's say you have that $40 million after taxes. A good advisory team will put you on a conservative 4% withdrawal rate.
4%, that sounds really low. Why not 6 or 8%?
The 4% rule is designed to be sustainable. It's built to withstand market downturns and inflation over decades. 4% of $40 million is $1.6 million a year. That's your new salary. That's what you live on.
And the other 38+ million just sits there and grows, hopefully keeping up with inflation.
That's the goal, preservation. You try to pull 8% and a bad market year could force you to sell assets at a loss, and the whole thing starts to unravel.
So what does that conservative preservation-focused portfolio look like?
It's balanced. You'd probably have, say, 40 to 50% in diversified stocks for growth, another 30 to 40% in stable fixed income things like high-grade bonds for income, and then maybe 10 to 20% in alternatives like real estate funds. It's about not having all your eggs in one basket.
And this all has to integrate with whatever you had before, like a 401k or Social Security down the road.
Exactly. It's not a separate life. It's a massive new piece of your existing financial life, and it all has to work together as one plan.
Let's talk about the non-financial side. The 90 days of anonymity ends. How do you protect your identity long term?
This is where those trusts and LLCs come back in. You don't own your new house in your own name. The trust owns it. You don't own the cars in your name. An LLC owns them. It creates a barrier between your assets and your public identity.
And the family pressure? That must be immense.
It can tear families apart. You have to establish clear professional boundaries. A lot of winners find it's better to not give large cash gifts directly.
So what do they do instead?
They set up dedicated trusts for specific things. An education trust for nieces and nephews, for example. It's managed by a professional, it has rules, and it takes the emotional pressure off of you.
And finally, just basic security. You're a target now.
You are. So enhanced home security is a given, but also, and this is huge now, cybersecurity. Strong, unique passwords, two-factor authentication on everything. High net worth people are prime targets for hackers.
We started this with that shock of winning on the Treasure Coast, and we end here with the immense responsibility of it all. The decisions you make in those first few weeks really do decide whether this is a blessing for generations or just a sad story.
That really is the takeaway. The winners who succeed don't run out and buy a jet. They pause. They resist making big changes. They hire professionals, and they focus on one thing, preserving the capital.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is. Winning the lottery is just the starting line. Managing sudden wealth is a skill. It's something you have to learn. So, here's the final thought. If you were that person holding the winning ticket, what resources, beyond the financial ones, will you invest in yourself to make sure your financial skill set grows as fast as your bank account does? Because that's the real challenge.